Forgotten Voices of the Great War.
Captain Charles Carrington, 5th Battalion, Warwickshire Regiment. I got up at dawn. I was acting adjutant of my battalion on the morning of the 1st of July. I went to take to my command post in the trenches, from where we could see over the country between Gomercourt and Sur. Messages were coming in from the front companies to say that they were all in order and that everything was right. We tested our lines back to the artillery. I can only say that I've never been so excited in my life. This was like a boy going to play for the first time in his life. That's how I felt. The noise rose to a crescendo such as I've never heard before. A noise which made all the bombardments that I've heard in the previous day seem like nothing at all. And the effect of that bombardment created a sort of hysterical feeling. We crouched in the shallow, narrow trench, almost shoulder to shoulder. I was next to an officer, and I had to get him something out of his own haversack because he couldn't turn round. Shortly afterwards, he told us we only had 5 minutes to go. When the whistle went, everyone climbed up the scaling ladders and through the holes in the front of the trench. Once outside, we formed up in a line with our rifles in front of us and started the move forward. It was 200 or 300 yards to the enemy line. We moved slowly. We didn't run. And for the first short distance, there seemed to be no casualties. But it soon came apparent that men were going down thicker than one realized. Then we came to a sunken road that had to be crossed at an angle. It was, unfortunately, a spot marked by the German artillery and machine gunners. So we very soon afterwards found that only a few of us were still going forward. My officer called across to me and said, "You stick with me, and I'll stick with you." "Right," I said, but immediately lost sight of him. I don't know what happened to him. Hoping that reinforcements would soon be coming along, I just remained there, firing at the Germans, until fortunately either my efforts or other people's made them get down out of sight. Then I saw I had no one around me, that I was the only one left standing. I thought, well, I can't carry on like this. So I got down in a shallow shell hole and began to look around to see what was happening. I then realised that the wire in front of us was quite uncut, despite the intense bombardments of the previous week. And the Germans were firing back at them. I had bombs, but the distance was 4 times too far to throw them. And as I fired, they eventually got down out of sight and did not appear again. I was hoping that reinforcements would be coming along so that we could attempt to go forward, but no one came. No one could get through that barrage. They went forward shouting with such energy, kicking the football ahead of them. But so quickly, Neville and his second-in-command were both killed, plus his company sergeant major. I picked up all the chaps I could and went over the parapet myself. The Australians suggested that as we were having a few days without any particular battle going on, it was sure the moment to have a test match. They found a bit of unshelled ground within reach of their positions. And we got some bats and balls and bales and stumps, and we played cricket. What the Germans could have thought was going on, I cannot imagine. But it must have been reported by some German, because unfortunately, next morning when the Australians were assembling the pitch and we were on our way, they were heavily shelled. Some were killed and others were wounded, and the ground was ruined. Well, there was never going to be a return match. We always felt that someone up above us was ordering things, and they probably knew more about it than we did. We just carried on. I mean, we used to criticise them, saying, "What the hell are they doing this for?" Or something of that kind. But we always took it. It was being good soldiers, I suppose.